I'm David.
And I'm Thackeray.
And welcome to This Old Saab.
Hey, Thackeray here. What we're going to do today is repair some cracks in the vinyl on the aero seats on our 2011 Saab 9.3 Turbo 4. So let's take a look at what we're working with here. This car did not come with these seats. These are the 2007 anniversary seats, which are really nice aero style seats. They came out for 1 year in 2007. I installed these in the 2011 Saab 9.3 here. And overall, they're in fantastic shape. But one of the quirks of these aero seats is they came with really nice leather backing. There's also leather bolsters. But between the two, the genius designers here decided to put these colored vinyl inserts. And they look really cool when they're in good shape, like on that side, but they are notorious for cracking. And the side near the window, especially, the vinyl gets hard and brittle, and you can see what happens is it splits. And if you ignore this, over time, grit works down in there, and eventually the cloth backing wears out as well, and then you've got a proper rip through to the foam underneath. So what we're going to do, you can see there's actually been, someone's tried to repair this a bit in the past already. Uh, I think the days are numbered, frankly, for this vinyl because it is kind of crispy, but we're going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a cosmetic spruce up here, and hopefully we can get a couple years extra out of this insert before we need to pull the cover off entirely and do some proper upholstery work on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some painter's tape to just kind of mask off the good leather from the bad vinyl, because I'm going to not only put some crack filler in the vinyl, but we're going to do a little preparatory sanding first. What I want to do is actually expose any hidden cracks underneath whatever the sort of prior vinyl crack repair is that's on here, and also just roughen up the surface a bit so that the crack repair that I put on binds better to the vinyl. So let's take quick stock of this. I really tried to actually flex the vinyl to expose the cracks better. Try to focus, there we go. You can see there are quite a few here. It's dusty now from my sanding, so I'm going to wipe the dust off, let that dry. And then we're going to put crack filler on it. We're going to really try to get it down into the cracks. All right, so what I have here is some vinyl crack filler. This is from the Seat Doctors. They're not sponsoring this in any way, and there may be better solutions out there. The reason that I've ordered materials from them is just that they do happen to offer color matches for Saab seats, at least the 9.3 and I think late Gen 9.5s. So the nice thing is, after we've applied the filler, which is just a generic tan color, we have a nice kind of color match for the original insert here, and so it'll look good, at least for as long as this vinyl continues to hold up. So I'm going to start by actually using a toothpick and really kind of massage this filler down into some of the deeper cracks that are on the seat here. There is a putty knife that comes with it, but I really want to get down in there. I hope this shows up on camera, but it's kind of hard to get on camera. at least without setting the camera up in a way where it would shake. But I'm really going to kind of nudge the filler down in, because what it's going to do is make contact to the cloth underneath. I'm not too worried about being clean right now. I'm going to clean it up in a second. But there's this cloth backing to the vinyl, and that's what I want to make contact with. It will help the filler stay in the crack. So I am intentionally bending the vinyl here, flare those cracks open. And there's a lot of cracking going on here. So stay tuned for the next video when we do a seat reupholstery here. We're going to sand this to give it a nice finish, but really, just starting from a better place will help us end in a better place with this. Not completely happy about a couple of those splits. They're very deep. But one of the things I'm going to do is take an old sponge, actually, and flare this out and just tap this on here really quick and give it a little bit of texture. We're going to sand it. And that'll help us get the finished product. But I actually want a little bit of roughness on here, because if you look at the surrounding vinyl as well as the surrounding leather, it has texturing in it. And trust me, when it's done, it'll have a slightly more original look to it. All right, that is pretty well textured. It dries really quickly, at least in the heat we have here now in the spring in Atlanta. Before it's dried completely, I would go ahead and start healing up this tape, because you don't want it to kind of become integral to the repair. Always kind of pull gently away. This is a good tip for house painting as well, but pull away from the seam that you just painted. Now I'm going to move around. There's a little bit of splitting on the side of the seat. We're going to repair that here, and then we let this sit and really let it cure nicely. Then we'll sand it gently with a really high grit sandpaper, and then we will stain it, and the seat will be good. All right, hopefully this shows up okay. There's a split here, which I actually repaired a while back, and the die is coming off, but it's actually held up really nicely. And this has been about 2 years, and I think this sort of speaks to the point that if you're diligent about getting the vinyl filler into the crack, it will hold up, at least as long as it's not a really high wear point. You can see that the die is wearing off a bit from me sliding in and out of the car, and that's an easy thing, though. You can touch up that periodically. I mean, that's something you need to do with the nice leather itself anyway. But there's one over here that I kind of missed the first time, and if you flare this vinyl, you can see the cloth underneath. This is pretty close, I think, to ripping through. So we're going to, again, mask off, fill this in, and this is a pretty high stress point because you get in and out of the car constantly. So I really want to do a good job filling that spot in. All right, now we just let this sit, and tomorrow we'll come back out and we will gently sand it, clean the dust off, and we'll apply some stain to it, and you'll be surprised how good it looks. We'll see how long it holds up. Again, stay tuned. In 2 years, we may be doing a reupholstery video on this car, but good enough for now. See you in the morning. And good morning. It's a very hot day here in Atlanta. Good news is that certainly helped for the crack filler to cure overnight, and let's take stock of where we're at right now. So I've masked off the crack filler again. When I was looking at it yesterday, before closing up shop, I found a very thin crack forming in the vinyl right along the outside of the bolster here as well, which kind of makes sense. This part flares out when you're sitting in the seat and you're kind of pushing the cushion outward. So I went ahead and filled that as well as I could. What we're going to do now is I got some fine 400 grit sandpaper, and we're going to try and get rid of, as much of this as possible so that what's left is a little bit of texturing and a little buffer around the cracks, but really trying to focus on cleaning it up and exposing as much of the original surface as possible, and really only keeping the filler that's in the cracks itself and around it. Again, less is more. So let's get to work. So you can see I've re-exposed a lot of the vinyl underneath. And what I've tried to do is get this surface sanded down so that it's a pretty smooth surface. There's still some rippling here, and that's a nice thing. That's what the texture of the actual leather and vinyl is. So it'll look pretty good. Get it focused there. It'll look pretty good when it's stained. One comment I will make is this is definitely more filler than I would normally recommend. You really want to get in the crack, and the stuff above and around the crack like this is more prone to peeling off, especially as your leg slides over it over and over time. But this vinyl is so crispy that I think this is the right way to go. And worst comes to worst, we can try it again in a couple years if it does start to peel off. But I did show you underneath here in the first part of this video a repair that has held up really well over time, and it was also a bit of a larger surface area like this. So I think this is the way to go with this. But if you're trying this, especially for the first time, I would actually probably start with the least amount you can down in the cracks, and then if that doesn't hold up well, you can add more. Use your intuition a bit. Done a few coats now, and you can see how nicely this blends in actually. that rippling effect from the sponge and then some light sanding, it really is effective. Probably I will do 2 more coats. Again, I've been doing about 20 minutes between coats, so that when you apply some more stain, it doesn't just peel off the old stain or get all glooped up. Probably about 2 more coats. Then what I'm going to do is peel off the masking tape. It's coming off on its own anyway. And carefully stain outward from it a little bit, just to kind of blend in with the neighboring vinyl. All right, this is a finished product. You can see it's blended in really nicely on the side there. This is that big crack that we repaired here. The only flaw really is I wasn't really able to avoid staining some of the silver thread across the gap, but that is clean. You really can't tell that it's there other than it being a little bit of a ripply surface. And then here is the big inset, and it's clearly different texture from what it originally was, but I think the rippling from the sponge is really effective, and it provides for a much nicer transition from the original vinyl to the repaired vinyl surface. So we're going to call that done for now.